Illini Nation, that was a tough one tonight. Illinois falls 90 to 86 to the Alabama Crimson Tide, and LeBaron Philon got whatever he wanted, 24 points on 9 for 18 shooting, and the Illini had some opportunities in this game. In the first half, they led by a lot, and then it slowly dwindled, and then the second half, they could not get their bearings straight at all. In the second half, it wasn't pretty. Let's go ahead and look at this box score for the Illini. 90-86 loss for the Illini. Team comparison, 45% shooting for the Alabama Crimson Tide, 42% for the Illini. Three-point percentage was 36% for the Alabama Crimson Tide, 34 for the Illini. This is where the Illini struggled mightily. They got to the free throw line 22 times, but they only secured 13 of those points. That's good for 59.1% from beyond the free throw line. While Alabama, they more they were more successful, 17 for 23 from beyond the free throw line. We got at Federer Stinks says, "You are a real trooper." Yes, I am. Trying to get you the best content after that Illini loss. There was some good. That first half was really, really fun. It led to some great things in the Illini where you were like, holy cow. You think of that dunk by the Illini. You think of the 3-point shooting by the Illini. Let's go to that half comparison. First half box score for the Illini. Mirkovic had 10 points. Stojakovic had 12. 7 for Wagler, 5 for Ben Hummerkaus. You were thinking, my goodness, this is awesome. 42 points for the Illini in the first half, and the Illini were rolling at a certain moment. But then all of a sudden, the second half hit where you were 16 for 37 behind the from the field, pardon me, and then 3 for 12 from beyond the 3-point line. 0 for 2 for David Mirkovic. You had 0 for 4 from Kylan Boswell. 0 for 1 for Keaton Vogler. 0 for 1 for Big Z, 2 for 3 from Ben Hummerkaus, 1 for 1 from Tomislav in the second half, who only played 6 minutes in that second half. Tomislav Ivisic was not the Tomislav Ivisic that you needed to see from this perspective. He is a All-American style player, all Big Ten kind of player, and he just wasn't able to get the job done at all. So you look at this team. I still love this team. I still think this team can do a lot of damage in March. I think this is a team that can do a lot of damage in Big Ten play. This was a very un-Brad Underwood style of game with the free throw shooting, with the lack of execution on all the small things. And I think that really led to the Illini just coming up short. You had those lane violations. You had just a lot of the fundamental basics that Illinois normally does well with Brad Underwood. They really struggled, really, really struggled. Let's go to the Alabama box score. Their second half, LeBaron had 19 points in the second half. Aiden Holloway had 8 points in the second half. And that was the effort. Rebounding wise, they had 22 rebounds in the second half. Illinois in the second half, they had 19. So I was on with Owen Barnes on the Alabama podcast, and he was asking the question, if Illinois loses, it's because of what stat line? And I said it's going to be the rebounding battle. And I think in the second half, when you lose that rebounding battle, it really became such a harder game to win. And it was really frustrating as a Illini fan to watch this game because you know the potential. You've seen that Texas Tech game. You've seen how they defended against athleticism. You've seen how they can do a lot of the good things that win basketball games, and it just didn't show up tonight. I don't know if the rat poison, as former Alabama coach Nick Saban talks about, got a hold of this program a little bit, but Illinois just did not play to the standard that Illinois and Brad Underwood have had. And I think this kind of game is almost good for the Illini at times because they're going to need to adjust some things. Defensively, they couldn't handle the dribble drive. LeBaron Philon Jr. Got whatever he wanted in terms of um, driving to the lane, and then the 3-point shooting wasn't the Alabama standard. Illinois did a decent job from beyond the 3-point line compared to what Alabama normally is, but you gotta be better than that. One guy that I want to talk about is Andre Stojakovic. Really, really great game. 26 points for him, but those free throws, 2 for 5 on those and 1 attempts. You make some of those, and I think it's a different ball game. The momentum is there. A guy that was an extremely Jekyll and Hyde style of player tonight was David Mirkovic. I mean, you see the 10 points, you see the 10 rebounds. In the first half, you were like, "Oh, this is going to be one of those special David Mirkovic games," and it really wasn't. The second half, he got bottled up. The second half, he got frustrated. The second half, I firmly saw the first instance of, oh, he's having the freshman moment here. He's having the, oh my gosh, college basketball is way more difficult than I thought moment. He had the moments where, wow, this Alabama team is really athletic. I can't just bully my way through and score some buckets. This was a very, very hard game for David Mirkovic, and I think it's going to really help him out in Big Ten play. It's going to help him out just get his confidence up and through practice because this is going to be a humbling experience for him to watch the tape in the second half. If you're just joining me, this is the Armchair Illini podcast, and this is our show. This is your show as well. Comment any of your thoughts. I'd love to react to them. And again, like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already to the Armchair Illini podcast. We are going to be doing this after every big Illini basketball game, and this was definitely one of them. This was a game that was number 8 versus number 11, and Illinois was favored by 3.5 points. This was the United Center game. This was a game that you go into thinking this is going to be a program kind of defining game. Brad Underwood has kind of struggled in these non-conference um, early season games that are played on neutral sites. I don't remember the last time Illinois has won one of those, maybe Arkansas in Kansas City, but that was kind of it. That's kind of it in terms of the um, neutral site games that the Illini have won in the Brad Underwood tenure. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments section. I'd love to hear about some others that Brad Underwood has won. But I think this is going to be good for the Illini in the second half of the season, the Big Ten play. And plus, this isn't it in non-conference play. Texas Tech wasn't it. Alabama is not it. You still have games against Missouri in St. Louis. That's always a crapshoot style of game. You have UConn as well at Madison Square Garden. That's the double barrel, double demon in that game because of what happened in Madison Square Garden last February against Duke, and then that horrendous 30-point run that the UConn went on against Illinois in the NCAA tournament. So Brad Underwood's got a couple of big gorillas to get off his back in that game if Illinois does in fact win. And watching UConn tonight, that is a really, really good UConn team. And there's some size in there that I'm worried about. There are some shooting capabilities that I'm worried about for that UConn matchup. And Illinois has kind of left some of the left some people off the bandwagon tonight. I'm not one of them. I think Illinois is still a really, really good basketball team. I think this was just a really weird, fundamentally unsound game by the Illini, and I'm kind of struggling though with that defense. I said in the beginning of the year with my episodes with Robbie Nardini that if Illinois is to be successful, they're going to have to figure out a way to defend better athletes than what they currently have. And Ben Hummerkaus, I think, did a decent job defensively. He seemed to be the defensive guy that Brad Underwood brought in late in the game. But other than that, I mean, you had some blow-bys on some instances, and this is definitely a game where you would love to have one of two, Morez Johnson Jr. or Ty Rodgers, and Illinois doesn't have that right now. Illinois doesn't have that front court guy that you're like, you know what, he's just going to give me tough minutes. I know Big Z can block some shots. I know Tomislav, when healthy, can do some things defensively, but this defensive effort is kind of alarming. It does raise some eyebrows here in Champaign for this defensive effort. So a little concerned about that, and I'm also a little concerned just what happens when the 3-point shooting isn't falling, and we kind of saw a glimpse of that tonight. Last year, when the 3-point shots weren't going and the second chance points weren't there, Illinois struggled to find that offensive force, and I think they went away from Andrei Stojakovic a little a little too much in the very beginning of the second half, and I think that's at play because David Mirkovic was kind of a ball hog at times, so I think that didn't help the situation. Um, and then I think they just, I think Andres is to the point where he needs to have the ball every single possession. He needs to touch the ball whenever it's scoring time in the offense. And there are some instances where they didn't get him the ball, and he is the guy. He is the run stopper. You saw it with the and one opportunities near the end of the game, and that was that. And I, I'm I'm still confident that this team will make a run in March, but there are some of those. Hey, let's watch for that. Let's watch for that, and that's a huge issue. This is the Armchair Illini podcast, and we want to thank our sponsors. As always, let me pull them up here. The Armchair Illini podcast is fired up to team with Hamilton Walker's Seafood and Spirits, hands down the best dining experience in Champaign-Urbana. We're talking prime steaks, fresh seafood, and a vibe that's perfect after a big Illini win or a loss. You can still go there after a loss. And here's the game changer. Every single home game, we're giving away a $100 Hamilton Walker's gift card on our social media. That's right. Dinner on Armchair Illini. Follow Armchair Illini and Hamilton Walker's on Facebook, Instagram, and on X to get in on the action and experience Hamilton Walker's where Champaign-Urbana comes to celebrate. The Armchair Illini podcast is also pumped to team up with Campus Inc.'s official Illinois NIL store. Get officially licensed gear from your favorite Illini stars, Luke Altmaier, Terrence Shannon Jr., Kofi Coburn, and many more. Support your favorite athletes and rep the orange and blue. Use code ArmchairIllini for 15% off today. That's code ArmchairIllini for 15% off today. Illinois 90-86 loss to the Alabama Crimson Tide. Let's go through the plus minuses for the Illini. The premiere of Mihailo Petrovic was not as advertised. He was minus 12, only had 3 points. He had a turnover in there, and he just didn't really add too much to this game. And I thought he was going to be a guy that was going to be an instant vet, a guy that could just come in and plug and play with his European buddies and just really fall in love with Brad Underwood's system. So it's not so easy to just plug and play. Jake Davis did not play much, 2 minutes in this game, 14 minutes out of Tomislav Ivisic. That got him a -5. Ben Hummerkaus played 26 minutes, a -2. Big Z with 16 minutes and a +2 in the plus minus. Keaton Wagler, -1 in the plus minus, 2 for Kylan Boswell. Andrei Stojakovic in his 30 minutes of play was a neutral, and then a -2 for David Mirkovic, which I think that -2 could have been a lot worse. I was a little shocked that he wasn't as bad as I thought. Let's go throughout some specialty stats. Bench points for the Illini, 17, 40 points in the paint for the Illini, and this number needs to get up. There was 10 opponent turnovers for Alabama, but only 6 points off of those turnovers. 6 points off of those turnovers. That's got to be better. 16 second chance points for the Illini, 14 offensive rebounds for the Illini. Let's go through the stats for Alabama and those specialty stats. 32 bench points for Alabama, 30 points in the paint for the Tide, 9 points off of turnovers, 11 turnovers for the Illini, but they had 14 second chance points as well. So the Alabama Crimson Tide did a great job of getting those second chance points compared to the Illini's 16. That number needs to be better for the Illini because that's how they get a lot of their points. That's how the Brad Underwood system operates, is getting those second chance opportunities. What's coming up next for the Illini? November 22nd on Saturday, they play against Long Island. That will be at the State Farm Center. And then Monday, the 24th, they play UT Rio Grande Valley. That game will also be in Champaign. And then Black Friday, November 28th, Illinois versus UConn. It's also Bears Eagles that day. So the Bears Illini fandom could have a really good day or a really, really poor day on Black Friday. So that's what's coming up for the Illini. And then you have December 6th, Tennessee, Music City Madness in Nashville, Tennessee. I will be there. So if you see me on Broadway, no, you didn't. Just kidding. But if you do see me, I'm going to be wearing my Illini stuff, a cowboy hat. Come over and talk to me. Love to hang out. Love to chat. But yeah, 90-86 loss for the Illini. Thank you for joining the Armchair Illini podcast. And we'll be back with a bigger breakdown with Robbie Nardini about this game. And then we'll get you prepped for the UConn Huskies. This has been the Armchair Illini podcast.